Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, off here to a 1 vs 1 on Arnhem Checkpoint. In the north, it's Happycat, fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. Rolling out here with the Guards Armour Division in the south, it is Aimstrong, fighting here with the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 1 and 7th Panzer Brigade with Grand Offensive Elite Armour and Special Operations, Strict Double Infantry, Obersoldaten versus Happycat, Tactical Support, Mobile Assault and Royal Artillery with Triple Infantry sections. Double sections out here as Happycat marches up bravely for king and country. Aimstrong rushing for the centre with the full screen is following up. So far, standard openings from both sides. Nothing that truly surprises anyone. Third section there for Happycat. More forces out there for Aimstrong. Moving eastwards there. Sturmpionier also moving in. Second force squad almost done. Sandbags down. Third section. Sandbags down there. Over again, note the consistent sandbagging here. And not quite here. Then again, that close is not necessary. But, you know, there'll probably be some close to the front line. Almost got the cutoff point. Second force squad out there for Aimstrong. Third section arriving there for Happycat for the Commonwealth. Moving east to see with the full screen. Sturmpionier setting out. And moving westwards there with the full grenadiers, hitting points here. Third full squad on the way there for Aimstrong. Sandbags up there to mark noticed by the fuel point. Again, very consistent sandbagging for both players. Could consider some sandbags here as well, but Happycat seems to deem that non-necessary. Section moving about here, could theoretically launch a double pincer attack here on the Sturm. Well, pincer attack, but double pronged attack here on the Sturmpionier. And there we go, immediately joins in. He could have tried just grabbing the point while the other section's fighting there, but of course by immediately focusing down there, he will slow down just being able to grab the point, but immediately gains a tactical advantage there instead of just push back Aimstrong. So good play there by Happycat. Some players have actually just kept the section out, then less experienced one, but you know, Happycat seized upon the moment there. Fourth section on the way there, sandbags up here. We'll have to see what Aimstrong plans next. On a map like this, I could see mechanized regiments, since it's a large map. Light vehicles are going to be absolutely amazing on a large map. In particular, an open one as well like this, like Arnhem Checkpoint. And there you go, folks, moving in through here, attacking from both sides, very good. Section routed here back into the restaurant in the north. Section moving up on the right side, on the west side, we've got a section moving up here for Happycat. Back here, Sturmpionier got the medical supplies up. He can go for the truck. He could also go for another Volksgrenadier squad. He could also theoretically go for Grand Offensive and go for Panzer Fusiliers. I mean, there's a few options here for Aimstrong versus Happycat. Section there taking some damage. In these side, we got Fuzz moving up and getting the section there, doing some damage. Holding up in the centre, Vickers following up for Happycat. Now, that's actually a bit less common there. I mean, the Vickers for the British tend to be very rare, particularly in the early game. But, I mean, fourth section of Vickers I could see making sense, but still pretty rare, since most British players don't go for them, in part because, well, they never really need them. Sections are, well, you know, that good by now. Anyways, fourth full squad on the way to Aimstrong, and sending the Vickers in this context is going to be very solid, because Aimstrong's going to, well, have a lot of infantry. It's going to be easy to target with all that section backing up the Vickers machine guns. It's going to be very difficult for Aimstrong, I think, to make any easier progress at times. Truck on the way, they're very good. And again, I'm expecting mechanized, of course. There's always room for a battle group headquarters, but I'd expect mechanized. But again, just meta. But also in this case, like, just the map more encourages it. Should it continue to cross here, folks, that are dying there in numbers by the fountain. Section of the restaurant not holding up. I've got fresh section ring as well there. Vickers machine gun holding forward here for Happycat and for the Guards Armoured. Truck moving ahead here, and there we go, mechanized regiment as more or less expected there by Aimstrong. Heading the cuff one, then moving up, but there we go, we got the Vickers ready, and we'll have to see, of course, how much Aimstrong was ready for this, because, I mean, it is very rare for British players, in my opinion, to go for Vickers machine gun like this. I mean, at this point, most British players would have bolted their sections, and, well, he is doing that now, but still they would have bolted first, maybe just gone for 3 sections, and then take that fast, but Happycat is going for a surprisingly heavy British early tier, which is certainly a bit less common overall from the average British plays, but certainly also gives him just more punch now. East side here, we got Fulton up, and we got to see there that Happycat is striking here at the cuff point with a depleted section, but all he in this case figures needs is just cut off the resource, maybe draw away in a full combat squad there, away from the front line. So, nice play there by Happycat. It's a bit of a tricky sort of judgment there to make, but I can see it making sense, obviously, and it is making sense. closer to something there, but of course being cut off from his resources, not being able to push out a fast Lux or Puma, and versus the British, it tends to be a Puma because, well, they're going to go for an AC anyways, in which case Lux is quickly going to go down. But so far there, Happycat's getting control of the centre here. Aimstrong might want to consider some MG-34s to back up versus the British infantry. I mean, he's got a lot of infantry. Machine guns are going to be quite handy there until you get out the light vehicles. Still, a bit of movement up north here by Aimstrong. We got Sturmgewehr 4 and 46 on the way to help increase his firepower as the British. Vickers being hauled in there. It was a World War I era by machine gunner, the Vickers machine gun. As another fun fact, the British actually had a tactic with it where they'd aim the machine gun up and sort of fire it like artillery, like just have entire machine gun platoons just firing like that. It was actually a World War I tactic, but it was also used in World War II. Little fun fact there. Not so one that I think gets a lot of mention or scrutiny, but no detail there. Section about in the north here, first sort of one that's been probably reinforced here. Once we got the bolted sections out. Aimstrong might want to actually put more pressure on the left side. In theory, to try and sneak out a Kugelwagen, but I definitely feel like there's some opportunity in just trying to seize the western points there rather than just fighting all around the centre here. I mean, it's obviously more defensible to establish a point between these two victory points, or a line between these two victory points, but again, trying to, you know, further draw away Happycat from the centre there could be useful. Again, denying him resources could also be very useful there, obviously. In particular, as the British kind of want to slow down the fuel income. Either way, pushed out of the centre successfully. Take up, but still down, but we got a lot of reinforcement there. We'll have to see what Aimstrong does next. Machine guns, like Raketenwerfers, who knows, but he's going for the car one again, very good. Troops taking up key positions throughout the centre here, while others are going points, moving forwards. And we got the looks on the way for Aimstrong. Okay, kind of wouldn't have figured that. I mean, again, the AC there sort of makes it a less tantalising process, thing, because object. There you go. Because it's, you know, easily hard countered by the AC Mark III. Obviously, the looks is going to be amazing versus the infantry and the machine gun, but it's going to be vulnerable to an AC. So we'll have to see what ends up with Aimstrong. All the way forwards to finding out around the centre. Machine gun section charging forwards here. In these sections, sneaking about there. Bit of skirmishing here. Poor Tommy there drops dead. Reclaiming the car from there, jumping for the victory point. Forwards holding up behind a pair of non-moving Opel Blitz trucks. A Raketenwerfer on the way that's back up, so at least he, of course, he expecting the AC once the looks hits, and it's known to Happycat. Again, Happycat hasn't seemingly prepared for it at all, so the question is if he's expecting, which might indicate that the Oberkommandant has been to increasingly more use battle group headquarters and flak half attacks and whatnot, or what, but normally I think, but by average, most British players would have had at least the AC requisition, so they could just immediately call it in. But there you go, Aimstrong following up with an MG-34 to help deal with British infantry. Luke setting out there. And we got Grand Defence. An interesting choice at this point. You figured going for it sooner for the Panzer Fusiliers, but seemingly Aimstrong has other plans. So already here there's a slight deviation in terms of meta. It also obviously indicates we're not going to be seeing the Command Panther stall, which is always a plus in my opinion, because having watched it for like... Honestly, I think at this point it's a strategy that's been around for years and all times been the only Oberkommando strategy for years. I'm kind of happy not to have to see it all the time anymore. Like, it's a blessing. An absolute blessing. Machine hammering away there. Looks going up here for this section. Routing it away there. Carphone being hit again. Nice again. Harassment there by Happycat. Counter pushing there. So we'll have to see what Aimstrong follows up next. Of course, what Happycat follows up with next. But obviously, AC being requisitioned and then called in here to counter the German light armour thrust here. Fun fact about the Panzer II, it was actually not a tank that was meant to see real combat. It was sort of a, in a sense, training tank for the German army, like to produce tanks and sort of get an idea how to operate them. But by the time the war began, industrially, they didn't have enough of the other tanks, so they had to push in the Panzer IIs. And sort of later on, they still had a bunch of them about, and so they, tried to make use of them. The Panzer II Lux was one of those, shall we say, versions, one of the last versions of the Panzer that sort of tried to do something with a bit more. AC, they're almost done here. Raketenwerfer number 2 on the way. No, he actually counts the first one, then he's going for it again. Fair enough. In a pinch, you can also equip the Sturmpaniers with a Panzerschreck. Eastern fuel plant being seized. Good play there by Happycat. He's just constantly drying about. They're causing Aimstrong to run after him, which so far Aimstrong is trying not to. In fact, he's going for the Western fuel point instead. Interesting counterplay there by Aimstrong. Got the AC Mark III out here for Happycat. Looks being fixed up. Though a bit awkward. There we go. Raketenwerfer out. Double section being hit there, one with pyrotechnic supplies, the other medical kits. More assault rifles on the way there for Aimstrong's troops. But he's going to get one again to really sort of stop the AC. We got grenades, of course, up there for Happycat. A very, should I say, usual combination there with the section. 2-1 bolted, since they're already going to be have a pretty good chance of getting close and doing some damage due to all the received accuracy bonuses, but also just the sheer durability. Then on top of that, you know, just popping in a grenade makes them very fearsome assault troops for a basic infantry unit. Sappers, machine gun moving about there, folks are there being routed. Under heavy fire there from Happycat and the guards armoured. Again, everything hauled forwards by Aimstrong. Nothing further on the base. Part of me might anticipate the Puma, but then again, considering he's not going to be going for a command panzer stall, there's certainly the possibility of Schwab Hunter's quarters is more likely to happen, though he will need another academy effort at the very least. Either that or he actually goes for panzer facilities with Panzer Strikes, which do pack more firepower and of course are a bit more flexible than academy in terms of mobility. But obviously they can't hide. That'd be a bit much. Section the fire from the looks, got the AC Mark III moving in here, rapidly going for the looks here. Academy is ready, in fact might even be using the looks as bait for the AC. And who knows, maybe Happycat is expecting, but there you go, Panther fast off on the AC, damaging his engine, Camel Academy to get up there. Looks trying to keep the infantry away there, going for the CoH2 one again as he claims his own fuel. Back here, troops reinforcing. Needs to get them back on the front line as fast as possible. Heavy concentration there around the CoH2 point here. Aimstrong, I'm sure, would love to have some artillery of some sort, but sadly he does not have a lot of that. Sturm Pioneers routed, which does reflect how Panzer Brigades operated, which is actually with very little artillery. Since they're kind of designed for counterattacking Soviet armoured assaults and just breaking them up, for which they did not necessarily need a lot of artillery. In fact, they usually had a few mortar half-tracks and some Stukas of Fusses, and that was it. Folks thought they wiped out, which actually sort of slightly indicates that the Oberkommand West, and actually the Panzer League before them, was sort of based around the Panzer Brigade concept, sort of. But they never quite nailed them in either case. They sort of usually end up lacking some crucial elements. Though the Oberkommand West, I would say, more so than the Panzer League, which at least had a lot, mechanized half-tracks to transport infantry about in at least. Another focus squad on the way here for Aimstrong. To replace the one lost. AC going in for the looks, and that's like another poorly unless Aimstrong gets lucky. I mean, he could, but there's also a chance he doesn't. Fighting around here, and these sappers exposed here to Aimstrong's Volksgrenadiere. Looks like the looks does escape. No sign of truck yet here for Aimstrong. I mean, the faster he can get that going, there we go, the better. Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper on the way. A late war half-track sort of designed for the Eastern Front, well, mid to late war, for transiting about there on the more mucky conditions of the Eastern Front. AC charging on, need to get the looks out of there. Dodges the shot there. Close one though, close one. Nice hit there. Fulton getting away. We've got the 6-pound gun moving in as well there. Fulton on the church. Again, creeping up the ground, the point here. Nice push there by Happycat, putting Aimstrong under a lot of pressure. And a grenade in the Volksgrenadiers. Either he doesn't see it, or he knows if he retreats, he's more likely to lose the men. Biggest up on the Volksgrenadiers here. Aimstrong, I feel like it's a bit too fixed in the centre there. But oh well, needs to get that Schwab Hunter cause out fast. Even he can't get any armour out of it anyways. I mean, the sooner he's got it up, the better, because at least you could say get out some Obersoldaten, which could put some more pressure than Happycat's infantry, which are definitely giving Aimstrong here a very hard time. Another option for Aimstrong, which you consider would actually be another MG34, another like Kettenwerfer. Either way, more support for Aimstrong, I think, is going to be crucial here versus a Happycat, but the question is what he's going to focus on, the AC or the infantry, but I do feel like some sort of focus is needed there. But another MG34 allow him to use one aggressive versus Happycat, and use the other to defend the area around here, because that is currently being gobbled up by Happycat and the Guards Armoured Division. Yeah, under a lot of pressure here for Aimstrong. Looks for 7 kills though, closing in eventually 2, so good. Fortunately, thereby I need to retreat. Oh, grenade as well there. Nicely dodged there, but even then he might end losing the Volksgrenadier squad there. Montage would have him there for Aimstrong. That was seemingly a bit of a bad call. Schwerer Panzer pretty up here for the 1 and 7th Panzer Brigade. Volksgrenadier MG34 moving eastwards. Troops reinforcing. Again, with an asset in the AC. Volksgrenadier MG34 moving eastwards. Volksgrenadier moving westwards. Seizing points here, moving up there in the east. Ooh, that's going to be a close one. Yeah, it's going to go down, I think, unless he gets lucky, which he did not. 6 Pentagon took that out. Bit of a blow there to Aimstrong on the west side, moving up there again. He's sort of, perhaps, I think, trying to realise the centre is a bit of a dead end. I mean, the Oberkreuz is not in that sense, you know, the heavy head-on assault faction. They're more about manoeuvre and firepower, which is also kind of the Wehrmacht, but even more so because the Wehrmacht is even smaller squads in that sense. But as the Wehrmacht, you're not sort of really meant to just grind yourself down. Particularly not versus the British, which are very much the grind faction, at least. Kind of on paper right now, they sort of perform a bit better than that too against the infantry section field being rather a bit above specs. Troops are being suppressed, though, folks moving in here. Troops being suppressed, the MD-34. Very nice. All of a sudden, could have enough here for Aimstrong. I mean, he's almost got the manpower. And a few infantry assault rifles could maybe get a bit more punchy versus Happycat. But there you go. Good push for the West, realising that Happycat, of course, anchored his forces around the centre east of this town. It does mean this left side defence is actually much more, you know, harder sort of, you know, assemble. That means the western fuel point is actually not much safer there for Aimstrong. So, good read there, I'll think, for Aimstrong. Good read. Those can things to be, you know, quite crucial. And some players just keep finding way because, you know, this is their fuel point, but Aimstrong realises, you know, his fuel point is that it's actually easiest to hold. So, good read there by Aimstrong, 6 Pounder gun moving in, and this is certainly, I would say, some of the things you'd expect more from higher rank players. Again, that ability just to adapt to the situation tactically as it goes. Holy smokes! Happycat, they're just, oh no, that was a misclick of the big ones. And of course, Aimstrong, more than happy to take advantage of that. That's big. I mean, Happycat just lost an anti-tank gun, Aimstrong just gained an anti-tank gun. Obviously, normal stand there for Aimstrong. That's only going to happen a bit, and they'll go reclaiming an east. As now, all of a sudden, again, he's counter-tank towards the west. Things have gotten a bit, you know, out of hand on the east side. His also forced collapse, and Aimstrong has made good gains in the east and the west. So again, sometimes the best, maneuver is not to just keep attacking your opponent head-on, but actually look to, you know, hit them where they aren't, and sort of try to draw them out from wherever they are. And that's clearly what Aimstrong is doing. Is tactically very sound. Infantry assault rifles on the way. They're going the eastern fuel point and the victory point there as well. Victory points wise, small lead for Aimstrong by Happycat and the British Army. Reinforcement healing here for Happycat and his merry band of Tommies. They keep troops reinforcing. Vickers on the way. Another Vickers for Happycat, plus a 6 Pounder gun. Double Vickers, though, is an incredibly rare sight from the British, truth be told. Very rare. Just like, you know, occasionally the player will go for 2 MG42s, the British players, I guess, you know, once in the blue moon will actually go for 2 Vickers because, you know, there's a lot of infantry about and they need to deal with it, but it's still exceedingly rare. Partly because they don't really need it a lot of the time. There we are. I mean, this is definitely an interesting fight. Back here, the troops are reinforcing. We'll have to see what Aimstrong goes for. I mean, he could try and go for the Command Tiger. He could go for a Panther, which I think is probably the safer bet. You could also go for Panther Force, but not. But for the Happycat, probably going to lead in the armoured department. Panther's likely to be, I think, the safer bet here for Aimstrong. It's going to have a bit more superiority there, and they can always flop where they wants to. Orbiting up with infantry assault rifles, turning into the Tommies, the Inslaffen, hosing them down there with some good, well-aimed fire. And there you go. Dropping dead there. Forces need to fall back. Machine gun there hammering away. He's going to lose to the Vickers, though, since the Vickers just does more damage, which means in the sort of garrison contest there, the Vickers will win. In particular, backed up the sections, which also can just do a lot of damage. And there you go. Aimstrong lost his only machine gun. Quite a blow there. Bit dangerous. Again, he needs to be careful about focusing too much on the centre because, again, in any of these sort of head-on ground-out contests, Happycat wins. Again, these sort of focus more on just strong right into engagements where it's less likely to just win rather than trying to just, you know, somehow bull his way through the centre. No Chrome yet or anything like that for Happycat. Is he planning something a bit bigger here? Comets maybe? Churchills? All of a sudden they need to get out there and taking too much fire here. They're going to get hosed. They need to retreat. They see on the right flank. Still in trouble. Got a kid with a 6 Pounder gun moving up here. Shoots, misses. Unfortunate. All fortunate for Happycat if you're looking at that perspective, obviously. Nothing further happening in the Happycat space. Interesting. And still no doctrine for Happycat. I mean, we're sort of almost hitting the 20-minute mark, and Happycat has yet to commit to anything sort of doctrinally, which is a bit noteworthy. Usually not sort of the good kind of noteworthy. And we got smoke bombs in here from above to call in to cut out the false grenadiers and the Sturmpanzers retreat. Nice call in there. Might not have been necessary, but usually in these cases, you sort of just, is it worth the risk? And if you're going to say no, you don't take the risk. And That's also the sort of place you might see from a higher-ranking player. You know, they just find ways to mitigate the risks. You know, people complain about RNG, and you know, the sort of shallow players try to, shall I say, mitigate the RNG, or slightly, you know, edge it about. Grenade, nice to hit there. Flooding out resources now here with Happycat. Certainly gives Aimstrong more of a chance to get back. It could also be waiting to see what Aimstrong is going before committing to anything. I mean, if he sees the Panther 4, he can then just sort of make the appropriate moves he can to that. Of course, if it goes to the Panther, he might be slightly more punished for that, say the Command Tiger. But we'll have to see here. Okay, now there's about to go down. That's going to hurt quite a bit there for Aimstrong. We're at the west side again, but I still feel like he's focusing a bit too much on the center there of the map. Still nothing here in Happycat's base. It definitely seems like he's patiently awaiting Aimstrong's move. Very patiently. Like a stalking predator. Folks, there's the sappers. Need to retreat them. Not looking good there. Eastern point makes you steal by the section. Forces moving to counter that. Back here, troops reinforcing. Bit of him going out there for Aimstrong. He can soon go for the Panther 4, like he could find himself forced, but again, Happycat could quickly strike that down. In fact, maybe he's just setting up for the Crocodile, to be honest, which actually makes a ton of sense, tragically. Depending on your perspective, of course. Heroically, of course, for other perspectives. So there you go. Panther 4 for Aimstrong. Good versus the immediate, so say, contends the field, the AC, and the sections, but versus anything Oh, what is this? He's not going for. He's actually going for the anvil tactic, so he's going to go for regular Churchills. Either way, though, the Panther 4's not going to do well versus Churchill tanks. Either. Basically, anything above the Crom and the Panther 4 here sort of risks running into issues. In particular when he's behind, and usually when you're behind as the Orbital Command Rest, you kind of don't want to go for the Panther 4. You kind of want the Panther because, again, it's a much harder item for the enemy to chew down on compared to Panther 4, which is more bite-sized and manageable. The Panther does possess a few more threats to it. But there you go, Churchill on the way for Happycat, still no doctrine, but yeah, that's going to be a bit of bad news there for Aimstrong and his Panther 4. I mean, he does have several anti-tank weapons, so it's not the end of the world, but it's not going to make things easier. Check some useful here. Need to retreat though. Sadly, they have to retreat for the base, but there's a lot of Vickers machine guns waiting, plus the section. They have a good chance of wiping out the Fultons. There's going to be another loss there for Aimstrong. Platforming up, and there go wipe. Charging forward to the Panther 4. Need to be careful about that though. Again, he's sort of very focused on just attacking head on that Happycat. Getting caught here by the AC and the 6th Pentagon. Of course, we're going to see a target trade shot here. Really bad news there for Aimstrong. I mean, if he loses the Panther 4 right away, which then looks to be happening, that's going to be absolutely horrific. Penetrating hit there, but the AC is being forced away. 6th Pentagon moving up to the flank, but can't quite hit, so they're having the Vickers machine gun. Need to retreat before I lose it to Happycat, but that was a rather reckless move again. It feels like Aimstrong is a bit too tunnel visioned on the center of the map here, and it is a common mistake. I mean, even again, he's sort of shown him, you know, to actually be able to attack other parts of the map, but even then, a lot of his time, he just still tends to sort of like zoom towards it, gravitate towards it, like, I don't know, a defective Nintendo controller or something like that. You know, he just sort of slightly lists towards one side. In this case, he lists towards the center. Churchill tank out here, and again, this is going to be the problem there for Aimstrong, since the Panther 4 and the anti-tanks are going to struggle with it, simply due to, while it's reasonably well armored, the thing is, of course, has a ton of health, which is really the main threat. They can just soak up so many hits. And that's going to be the real problem here for Aimstrong. Even with like 2 anti-tank guns and maybe no Panther 4, they're going to acquire a lot of hits to really threaten it properly. Quick hit there, but as you notice, not exactly the biggest impact. He's going to Panther fast, but even then, there you go, more hits. 3 hits, and he's sort of shaved off a quarter of its health. Shot bounce, there you go, Panther fast, and it's slightly approaching there, but there you go, beginning to deploy the infantry support smoke, which is actually, in the game at least, I think never used to actually support the infantry, it's just used to get out in a bad spot. Anti-tank can pursue, of course, there's infantry away. Back here, Panther 4 fixed up. Section caught here by the Scout Panther clocked here. Second orbital squad out here for Aimstrong, of course, increasing the amount of elite infantry he has to sort of bring to bear against Happycat, which is good. And he's going for the 3rd squad, so it seems like Aimstrong is adjusting his strategy here, and he's got to try and heart now focus on the infantry, play around this Churchill to an extent, and sort of just overwhelm Happycat here. And there we go. Good hit from the Panther 4. The section almost wiped out. And if you can't get a wipe, that'd be pretty helpful yet. There we go. There we go. That's a small win there for Aimstrong. 6 corners going up. Great on the Panther 4. On the west side, we've got Orpstum Punio moving in. Another section for Happycat. No Docton still from Happycat. Like to see that. Orbis moving up the west side. So you have triple Orbital done. That's a lot of Orba. Though he is in the slightly sticky position, not getting a lot of ammunition, so upgrading them is going to be a bit of a taller order. Well, that and fuel as well is going to be an issue. And again, straight head on assault here. And immediately met with severe resistance here from Happycat. But there's more effort again on the west side, which is really what matters again. That he's tried to play around this. I mean, theoretically, flank assault for here could maybe sort of hit some of the more exposed weapons, and that would deal with them rather than just attacking head on. But all of the guns are going to be pointing in, which is usually not the acme of tactical warfare. And there you go. Churchill takes out like Kevin after that, but he did take it down to half health here. Good. Bit of few lucky hits from the Panther 4. Might lose like Kevin. There you go. Got heavy sappers out here for Happycat. 6-pounder gun is bag of base reinforcement. Need to get that into the front line fast. Sturm Pioneers here with Orbital support cleaning up the 6-pounder gun. Good work here by Aimstrong. West side here, the AC is going to deal with the advanced. The internet's going to struggle a bit here with all of this infantry that Aimstrong's pulling in here. Panther fast if he's paying attention. There we go. Damaged engine. Panther needs to be careful though. 6-pounder gun being destroyed. He's not too worried about the Churchill though, but he shouldn't be ignoring it either. Section taken out here. Section going to make a run for it. Almost got it, but his Panther down to less than half health. Oh dear. Needs to get the Panther out of there. Correct. No, I couldn't have. That's the Vickers machine gun there, obviously, so you can rush. Plus, there's another Vickers there. Obviously, moving to the church. Needs to get this out of there. Needs to get the Sturm Pioneers back as well with the Panther 4 to repair it. Another 6-pounder gun here for Happycat. Bring in one to tank weapons. Still no Docton for Happycat. Sees in the western field point here with the Orbital gun. Folks are about to get wiped out. Aimstrong needs to be careful.
Anti-tank gun ready to do some damage.
Vickers being hauled out. Panther being repaired. And Happycat could actually go for another Churchill. Of course, he might be going for the Crocodile. As for Aimstrong, he's sort of getting some fuel back. He would likely have to consider Yak Panther to help deal with all these Churchills. Honestly, with these Vickers, it would be great if it actually gone for battle group headquarters instead of mechanized, and some of the light infantry guns I think would be quite helpful here. Panther 4 close to veteran G2. That's good. For Aimstrong, it is less good for Happycat. Obviously, Happycat's got plenty of other things to be quite pleased about. More assault rifles on the way there for Aimstrong. Very good. Well, infrared assault rifles to be specific. Panther going to clear out the machine gun. Bold move there by Aimstrong. Backed up with the Sturm Pioneers. Church moving in. Veteran 2 gained, but I need to fall back. They've all got the Antagonist opening up. Down to half health in a matter of moments. Creeping up like Kedmare for there. Back here, more reinforcement. Entertaining there is good to go again. Definitely get that one hauled forwards here. But he's got both fuel points again. The chance of him getting out, say, a fast Jack Panther is not going to be completely astronomical. But Happycat is, yeah, going for tactical support. He's going to go for that Crocodile soon. And that's definitely going to require something with a bit more punch. Because all starting just with the Churchill tank. And I mean, a Churchill backed up. A Crocodile is going to be very uncomfortable for Aimstrong otherwise. So Yak Panther I think is going to happen here. It's either that he does try to stall for a Panther, though timing wise that might not quite be able to pay off here for him. Panther 4 moving ahead. Western points being reclaimed here by Happycat and the Guards Armour Division. Panther 4 moving up, they could hit on the Churchill. He's certainly getting some lucky hits with that Panther 4 on the Churchill tank, interestingly enough. Pulling back here. A few mines here and there I think could be a very good investment for Aimstrong to maybe catch up some of Happycat's armour. He's finally got the Entertainer being hauled forward, it's very good. Happycat is a bit far away there from it. He's also meant to claim the centre. Western side, of course, are now part where their efforts and intention being diverted there for Happycat. Here, of course, there's 2 anti-tank guns, and that's of course going to be a problem there for Aimstrong, since that's going to make the heavy armor, of course, hit much harder. And going to make it harder for Aimstrong to counter it. Anyways, moments away from the Crocodile flamethrower tank. I mean, he could also be going for the Panther. I mean, he's definitely got resources now for the Yak Panther in terms of fuel, but he needs manpower. And for the Panther, he's not far off. But again, he's manpower in both cases. That's kind of where the economy is probably feeling a bit tighter now here for Aimstrong. That is manpower-wise. So he can probably go for a 3rd infantry assault rifle package if he wants to. He does go for it. There you go. AC charging force round to the Panther force line of far halfway to eventually free. If he can get it to eventually free, that'd be huge there for Aimstrong. Can he get the AC finally? Can he get it? No, it swoops away there. Because they're moving into the infantry assault rifle wielding Oberstein, taking quite a bit of damage there. And grenades off there. The dodged here. 6-pounder guns moving up. And he's going to have to get the Panther out of there. Cheeky move there by Happycat. He baited Aimstrong to keep his Panther around there. But there you go. Gets lucky with the 6-pounder guns. Both shots bouncing. Of course, at long range, there's definitely increased chance of it. But even then, it still sends out. Oberstein wiped out. He forgot about them. And they probably just upgraded with it. No, actually, it looks like they hadn't. He just got the munitions refunded there. So they died before he could lose them there, I guess. And he called in the... Oh, he finally got it. Oh... Bit of relief there, but even now, of course, there's a bigger problem inbound, and that, of course, is the Crocodile, which, along with the Churchill, is going to be 2 very, very large beasts that Aimstrong and someone going to have to deal enough damage to deal with. Might get another section here. We got 233. This is 269. Good hit in the Churchill tank. Eventually feed down the Panzer IV. UKF, of course, repairing it while under fire here. Still, eventually, 3 Panther force going to be huge here for Aimstrong. High rate of fire is usually very crucial. They need to pull back now. Pull back Aimstrong. Don't rush losing that Panther IV now. That would be very silly. Blitz, blitz, blitz. But much too late, though. Close one there, though. Close one. He could also be going for the Command Tiger here. No, I don't know. Might work out. But Ken opening up, of course, bounces. And, of course, the Crocodile is very good at dealing with it. Since, of course, the flamethrowers deal a lot of damage. And the notes are flamethrowers, because thing is, it has 2 flamethrowers in terms of in-game statistics. Like, it has one that is visible and then one that's invisible. So it technically just deals a lot of flamethrower damage that way. Which, in this case, means you can just easily walk up and annihilate anti-tank guns, meaning it's a surprisingly effective heavy tank in that way compared with most others, since you can just deal with one of the more usual counters to them and just waltz over them. So right there, Aimstrong suffered a significant blow there with both his anti-tank and destroyed here by Happycat. Again, he's likely going to go for the Command Tiger. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but honestly, versus all this, double Yak Panthers I feel like would probably be better choice, because double Yak Panthers is just going to be a lot more firepower to give the Churches a hard time. But that's just me. Still putting up pressure on the left side. Very good. Still some significant losses there. Also noting double Steel Pioneers out here for him. Note he hasn't upgraded for the repair Pioneers, which stands out a bit there. Note he's not reinforcing the Steel Pioneers because he wants that manpower for the Command Tiger. Well, obviously, the Command Tiger is going to be sufficient here, since again, there's not just the 2 Churchill tanks, there's the 2 anti-tank guns. Unlike Happycat, Aimstrong can't just have his Tigers, you know, waltz up and spew fire and just kill the anti-tank guns in a matter of seconds. There you go, Command Tank already there. Panther IV flanking up here. Crocodile again just tearing through the infantry. 11 kills already. Command Tank barrel upgrade here to the Command Tanks that boost troops around. It actually decreases its own combat ability, but at the same time, I don't actually think it affects the flamethrower too much, and that sense is not a big deal, since again it just makes everything around it better. Panther IV though should try and flank it, so not take hell on. We got the Command Tiger moving in. Eventually form the Panther IV patrol taking heavy damage here. We got them tanks supporting as well there. Tiger tank moving in. And it goes, no, this is now getting boosted, so that Churchill is suddenly better. That's probably more what Happycat is aiming for. Panther IV down, quite a blow there to Aimstrong. Good hit there, half health, but of course he still has the double anti-tank guns and everything else, and this is kind of where the Tiger tank now runs an issue, as it is now severely outgunned and can't fight them from a safe distance. So this again is probably where he wanted double Yak Panthers and the Command Tiger. I should have gone for a Panther instead of that first Panther 4. Units getting wiped there, and with this, Aimstrong's forces are rapidly falling apart. Sadly, the opposite arm can't do much against this. Or maybe also just having for a bunch of Panzer forces early with Panther Shakes could perhaps also work out nicely for Aimstrong. In that regard, you know, he probably missed out something despite going for grand offensive, you know, just, you know, going for double Panther Strike Panzer Fusiliers. I mean, they do have double Panther Strikes, and double Panther Strikes should never be underestimated. But yeah, at this point, it's very much GG. Aimstrong is trying his best, but that's not really going to help much here. So there we go, GG, I think. A glorious victory for the Guards Armour Division as the elements of 107th Panther Brigade found themselves torn apart here. And an inferno unleashed by Churchill himself, apparently. 22 kills on the ace. Churchill just zooms through, destroying and wreaking havoc here on Aimstrong's base, and tanks moving up as well. That's gone. 201 was a 250. They go hauling everything away. Aimstrong still seems determined to fight, though I'm not entirely sure what Aimstrong is hoping to achieve here, except maybe just display some defiance in the face of the hated British foe. And there you go, GG, game over. A loss for Aimstrong, a victory here for Happycat. A brutal fight here in the end. I mean, Aimstrong made some good moves, but again, I feel like he just at times fought the British too much on their terms, which again, it's like the number one thing you always try to avoid, fighting the British on their own damn terms, because the British will win hard. In addition, again, I feel like the Panther 4 was also just a bad call. It probably should have been a Panther or some Yak Panther. Well, Panther then could also have the Yak Panthers or the Command Tiger. Instead, he kind of went for the Panther 4 and then for the Command Tiger, which rather resulted in him not having enough firepower to really put an end to the Churchills. But again, that combined with his, I think at times, just too heavy focus in the centre there, I think rather allowed Happycat to win. I've also say Happycat that made some good moves. Again, the double Vixen machine guns I think also proved to be quite effective, and that's probably something that Aimstrong just wasn't entirely sure how to deal with, and certainly also just saw how powerful Churchill things are. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Link. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode.